Well, Trump's negotiation has a very, very significantly recognizable pattern. And that's both good news and bad news, because, of course, now, in inverted commas, his enemies know what to expect. Okay, it starts by the threat that I'm going to kill your family, your pets, and all your loved ones, unless, okay, and then nothing of the kind happens, except he salami slices then the next stages. Let's not forget, we are on the 200 million mark of Chinese goods that are being now subject to imports. The threat is it will go up to 520. Okay, well, I don't think this is going to happen, and that particular threat will be used to extract certain other things that a lot of the tech companies and some of the bigger companies in the States are complaining about, and this is the so-called intellectual property theft. So my answer is yes. I don't think past Christmas they're going to tax everything from Barbie dolls to intercontinental nuclear missiles that are coming out of China. Okay, but I think we're going to have one further stage in the taxation regime. And also, a lot of it is planned that if nothing happens, it's going to take place exactly in the middle of Chinese New Year. Wow, that was, if that's not let's say, an accidental date. All right, yeah. I don't know what it is, because you need 60 days of negotiation stroke of consultation with the American companies that are likely to be affected.
Well, speaking of accidental or non-accidental dates, of course, the big date for the U.S. at the moment is the midterm elections taking place next week. In fact, we had a guest on just in the last hour saying she was quite worried this could just be election speak from President Trump trying to calm down the markets ahead of that electoral contest. Do you think that is a possibility?
Well, the repeated message that have been going in, listening, of course, to listening and reading to the reports on the campaigning, is, quote, Trump, Trump, Trump. Nothing about immigration, nothing about trade war. Okay, it is about Trump. So actually, he himself, vote for me. Forget about everything else. This is a kind of a midterm for my term, okay, referendum. Am I doing good? How am I looking? What is going to be like? So to that respect, yes, it will be very interesting to see if the great American public like what Trump has been doing so far. So I treat it like that, as opposed to will the Senate change hands and how big or how small with a majority in the House of Representatives is going to be. In other words, my key concern is, did he get a big tick on his notebook?
Interesting, Andrew. Certainly that's what many Washington insiders have pointed out as well. But I am curious, just going back to this trade issue, if in fact we do get some sort of substantive deal between the U.S. and China on trade, I appreciate there are other issues such as IP that you've pointed out. What kind of upside do you think we will really see here to global markets? Because at the moment, the sheer hope that President Trump has asked his cabinet to put a draft deal on the table, that of course is just a report at this stage, but just that hope is really moving markets stronger here in Asia, U.S. futures as well. I mean, what kind of upside do you think we could see?
Nothing, all commentators, that doesn't exclude me, they always know better than anybody else. Well, I don't. Actually, I know worse. But one very important thing, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit mad about that. The famous trade war. What trade war? The only specific country that the United States is at war with, read my lips, is China, not anybody else. They have imposed import duties on steel, and that covers South Korea, that covers Brazil, that covers the European Union. But they haven't gone around saying, European Union, we're going to impose tariffs on anything you produce. The only war there is with China. So, I begin to have a big yawn about this insistence of the markets collapsing because of a trade war. What trade war? Ask the Australians, ask the Filipinos, ask the Malaysians, are you being threatened by the United States? Yes, the answer is no, we're not. So, it's a little bit upsetting to see that the markets are going into a paralytic stage of fear about a trade war that doesn't exist. Yeah, China is very important, but China is not the only thing in my life or in anybody's life.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.